Hey, what's up, everybody? Scott here from audioskills.com. I'm actually live streaming on our Recording Excellence page because for some reason the Facebook app wasn't working on my phone on the Audio Skills specific page. Very weird. But one thing I wanted to talk about today and why I'm doing this stream is I get a lot of questions about stock plugins. I get a lot of questions about, are stock plugins better? Are premium plugins better than stock plugins? Is it better to, spend a bunch of money on a plugin, or can you make a good mix with just using stock plugins? And I understand why people have this question, because there are a lot of folks out there that say, you can't get great sound without a really expensive plugin, without spending a ton of money to get the latest Slate digital bundle and getting all that. And my answer to this question is, well, number one, yes, you can get great results using stock plugins. So then the other question becomes, well, what's the difference between a stock plugin and a premium plugin? Well, the obvious answer is, of course, just price, right? But the big difference is how those plugins color your sound. So if you have a premium plugin, those are going to color your sound in a different way, especially if you're working with like a compressor or something. They can color the sound differently and more better, and depending on the compressor plugin you're using, can emulate, for example, an analog compressor much more accurately, or maybe get a warmer tone or something that you might enjoy more. Now, one of the key things here is that these premium plugins, these are a lot of the plugins that the pros are using, that people who, their music on the radio, they're using these plugins. So if you think about how they color sound, then yes, if you are wanting to color your sound in such a way, then a premium plugin can help you get closer to that professional, whatever, produced sound. That said, you can still use stock plugins to do everything that you would do if it was a premium EQ or a premium compressor. An EQ is an EQ is an EQ. It doesn't matter how much it costs. You still can boost, you still can cut, you still can roll off frequencies and do all of these things with a stock plugin. And this is where I get in trouble, where people get upset because they want to believe that the only way you can get great sound is if you spend a ton of money on a plugin and you get all the best plugins. But I'll tell you what, you are better off working on developing your skills with the tools themselves, the compressor itself, the EQ itself, whatever it is. You are better off doing that with your stock EQ than you are if you spend $100, $200, $300, $400 on a bunch of plugins and then work with that, because that's not where the big difference is going to come. The biggest difference is going to come when you build those techniques, when you build the skill set, and you know what you're listening for, and you know what compressor settings you like to use and how those will affect your track and things like that. So people getting all wrapped up in, oh, well, you don't have premium plugins, therefore you can't mix, or you can't produce without this. They're really missing the forest for the trees. Again, I'm not saying you can't, of course, spend that money and get a premium plugin, but the biggest difference is just how it colors the sound. Now, there may be some settings and things like that, and maybe some presets on some of those more expensive plugins that can work really well, but it's not one of those things where the difference between a good mix and a bad mix is, well, this person used a stock plugin and this person used a premium plugin. That is just not true. And I really want people to stop buying into that, because you realize a lot of the people saying this, they are selling plugins. They are selling those premium plugins because they want you to buy that, and you don't necessarily have to. I use Logic Pro. A stock compressor in Logic can work just fine for a lot of what you're trying to do. Same with the stock EQ. So that is just one thing I wanted to address today. I wanted to answer that question. Can you get a good mix with a stock plugin? Yes, you can. You can use exclusively stock plugins and get a great mix. And two, what's the difference between stock plugins and pro plugins? And, the last thing I wanted to say is I wanted to thank everyone for the support at audioskills.com. We are growing each and every day, adding new courses. We're adding new articles. The Audio Skills podcast is going great. We have a great episode up this week where I talked with a great engineer and covered EQ, and it was just really, really exciting to discuss all that kind of stuff. And then I also covered production and all these kinds of things. So we have a lot of great stuff going on, and if you're interested in really taking your music to the next level, do check us out at audioskills.com. You can sign up for a free trial, see what we've got going on, and no matter what your skill level is, what you're working on, what kind of music you make, whatever, just go out there and make some great music, and don't buy into the hype that you need to spend a ton of money on gear and plugins in order to get great sound, because it's just not true. Have a good one, guys.